10 minutes. That's all it would take. Not 10 years, not 10 days, 10 minutes, for half the air on this planet to simply vanish. And in that window, before you even finish reading this sentence in your head, billions of people would already be in trouble. Pilots, mid-flight, would feel their minds start to slip. Surgeons, mid-operation, would suddenly forget what they were holding. Drivers on highways at 70 miles an hour would feel the world tilt sideways. This is not a movie pitch. This is what actual physiology tells us would happen almost immediately if Earth's oxygen concentration dropped from 21% to roughly 10%. So what would really happen minute by minute? Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll never take a single breath for granted again. We don't think about oxygen. We can't see it, taste it, or feel it arrive in our lungs. And maybe that's exactly why we underestimate it. Every second, your brain, just your brain alone, burns through nearly 20% of your body's oxygen supply, even though it's only 2% of your weight. It is, without exaggeration, the most oxygen-hungry organ on the entire planet. Which means if oxygen disappears, the brain is the first casualty. Not the lungs, not the heart. The mind goes first. And that single fact is the reason scientists, when asked about mass extinction events, keep circling back to one terrifying possibility. Not asteroids, not nuclear war, but the air itself turning against us. This isn't ancient history. It's happened before, in Earth's deep past. And understanding what it did to life back then tells us exactly what it would do to us right now, in real time. Let's build the scenario. Imagine an ordinary Tuesday. Commuters on trains, children in classrooms, surgeons in operating rooms, pilots at 35,000 feet. Then, at 9 a.m. exactly, global oxygen concentration falls from 21% to 10% across the entire planet, all at once. For the first 60 seconds, almost nothing visible happens. That's the cruelest part. Your body doesn't scream in pain. It doesn't sound an alarm. It just quietly starts shutting down the lights. At 10% oxygen, you are now breathing air equivalent to standing at the summit of Mount Everest, without acclimatization, without warning, without weeks to adjust. Climbers spend years training their bodies to survive air this thin. You would have 0 seconds. By minute 2, the confusion begins. Judgment blurs first. The most human part of you, decision-making, reasoning, self-awareness, starts to dissolve like static on an old television. This is called hypoxia. And the cruelest twist of hypoxia is this. You usually don't know it's happening to you. By minute 4, the world has changed completely. Imagine cars drifting out of lanes, traffic lights blinking, unanswered, a pilot's hand hovering, hesitating over the controls. Pilots, even experienced ones, describe hypoxia not as panic, but as a false, euphoric calm. A feeling of everything is fine, even as the aircraft drifts off course. The U.S. Air Force has run hypoxia training for decades because of exactly this. Pilots who felt perfectly confident while making catastrophically wrong decisions. Now imagine that confusion multiplied by every single person on Earth operating a vehicle, a machine, a scalpel, a control panel at the exact same moment. But here's the real truth, far darker than confusion and falling planes. Because at 10% oxygen, it isn't really about minds slipping. It's about something far more fundamental, breaking down inside your own cells. Here's the twist almost nobody expects. We assume suffocation kills you by stopping your lungs. It doesn't. It kills you by stopping your cells, specifically the tiny structures that act as the power plants of your body, converting oxygen into usable energy. Without enough oxygen, your cells cannot produce the literal currency of life. And without that energy, cells don't just slow down. They start dying quietly from the inside. This is why oxygen deprivation doesn't feel like drowning at first. It feels like falling asleep, calm, almost peaceful, which is precisely what makes it so dangerous, and historically, why it's been so deadly again and again throughout Earth's past. Around 252 million years ago, scientists believe oxygen levels dropped dramatically during what is now called the Great Dying. This was the most massive extinction event in our planet's history, wiping out an estimated 90% of marine species. Not from fire, not from impact, from the air itself, betraying every living thing that depended on it. And honestly, if hidden moments in Earth's deep, terrifying past fascinate you the way they fascinate me, this channel was made for you. Back to our 10 minutes. By minute 6, oxygen-starved tissue begins suffering real, lasting damage. The brain, again first in line, starts losing cells permanently after roughly 4 to 6 minutes of severe oxygen loss. By minute 8, organ systems are in full crisis. Hearts, deprived of proper oxygen, begin to strain, some losing their natural rhythm. This is not science fiction. It mirrors documented real medical cases of acute oxygen loss in extreme altitude and survival situations. And by minute 9, something even stranger emerges. Survivors of near-death events in real medical history often describe the same unsettling sensation. Not fear, acceptance, warmth, even a strange sense of peace. The body, it seems, doesn't want you to suffer at the end. It wants you to drift. So here's the revelation, the one that connects back to everything we opened with. 10 minutes is not survivable for most complex animal life on Earth, including us, at 10% oxygen. But here is what makes this truly haunting. We are not protected by luck. We are protected by an almost invisible, perfectly precise balance. Billions of years of oxygen-producing plants and ocean plankton, quietly maintaining 21% oxygen with almost no room for error. Drop that number by half, and civilization doesn't fall in years or months. It falls in minutes. And that's the part that should stay with you, not as fear, but as awareness. Every breath you have taken today, without thinking, without effort, was a gift from a planetary system so fragile, so exact, that even scientists still don't fully understand all the variables keeping it stable. We walk through our lives assuming the air will always be there. We assume gravity, sunlight, oxygen as background facts of existence, not as gifts. But somewhere in Earth's deep past, that assumption was broken, and entire life systems vanished because of it. Maybe that's the real lesson hidden inside this simulation. Not fear of the next 10 minutes, but gratitude for the millions of breaths you have already taken without ever noticing. Because if there is one truth the history of our planet has taught us, it is this: the air has never owed us anything. But in the next documentary, we uncover the part nobody talks about. What happened the last time Earth's oxygen actually did collapse. and just how close we came to never existing at all.